Get the wet palette going. Looks good. Okay. This set up. Let it do its curl. So I've had a couple of videos up on YouTube, and every time I get in front of the camera, I get really wooden. I kind of look like a deer caught in headlights. So today we're going to try to do it a little bit more laid back, a little less formal, less heavy editing. And we are going to start painting the 2024 model for the red Gobbo. I got him pinned right here. He's primed black, and I gave him just a very light zenithal highlight. We're going to be working on this in stages. Today I'm going to be starting on the base itself. So I'd like to get, a little bit more snow down, work on the bomb, on the actual branches for the arms of the snowman. And then come Thursday, we're going to be working on the head of the snowman, the clock, different things like that. Should be fun. So, with that, let's go ahead and we're going to change the view out just to straight painting. Okay, so we've got our wet palette. I like to take some fresh water and put it in this dropper right here and throw that on the wet palette whenever I need to dilute down some paint. So let's see. I apologize for the delay. I actually just want to see if I am actually live. Look at that. There I am. All right. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, if we're going to be working on this, let me see. Let me go ahead and get my brushes out. Using that. I've got some sable brushes. I like using a couple of synthetics for metallics. Let's see, what are we going to use here? I think we'll use this guy. So we're going to use that for some metallics. So that one's kind of an old brush. And we will grab as we need. Kind of a few brushes there. So colors. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get some Pro Acryl bold titanium white. All right. Let's get some coal black, because we're gonna need to be able to do some wood colors. So let's do some Agrex Earthshade and more Fang Brown. So we'll use that to kind of pull down some of the colors, and then we'll come through with a nice dry brush and then pick out some lighter colors. Maybe some Baylor Brown for a highlight. We'll mix that in. So we'll kind of play around with those. Got some black, got some white. What else are we looking at here? Not a whole lot. Got maybe, if we look here, I'll use my paintbrush. If we look here, we've got a nice little cord that we could probably do red and blue as kind of a timer cord for that big bomb. So let's go ahead and grab our red, some Evil Sun Scarlet, and some blue. I think we're going to go with some Cantor blue. I'm going to try to keep on this can't seem to walk and chew gum at the same time. Sorry, I'm making some adjustments. But I'm going to try to make sure I keep it in focus, keep it in range. I know in my history I've had some trouble, and I've seen some other people. They get so focused, they start to like pull it away, pull it out of focus. Um, Actually, in order to do that, let's go ahead and see about putting that wet palette up there. I think that'll probably be better. So that leaves us right here. That's perfect. I love it. All right, so go ahead and get some white mixed in. Always got to keep a man, it just wants to keep coming out. Got to keep a paper towel on hand, try to clean that Pro Acryl paint tip off the best I can. Because if I don't, it just gets caked on there so hard. But I got to admit, I love the way that some of the Pro Acryl colors look. I like how some of the Citadel pigments look. You really got to go with what you like. So let's see. So I did already prime it. I did a black primer, and I used a detailed tip to kind of go through and give it kind of a nice frost look. So what I'm actually looking at doing here, and I probably move up to a more layer or a base brush from Citadel. I think this would probably be a good one to start with. Get some water in that brush. So I think I'm gonna put some light. Oh, we got some green in there too, and I know exactly what green I'm gonna do. Some grenades, some camo green. Oop, Pro Acryl camo green. I don't know if you can see that. So there we go. There's our colors. Let's get some water down on the palette, and then get some stuff mixed in. What I'm looking for is just a nice thin consistency. That way I can get just a little bit of transparency. Just a touch of transparency through there. All right. You ready? Let's get into this. Try to pull back just a little bit here where I've got this shadow, because that's where the red Gobbo is standing. And if I keep that shadow there, should make that look really nice. So once this is dry and based out pretty well, I'm going to actually come back through the snow and put down a nice layer of what color is it? It's a nice Tyler Glacier contrast paint. I'm going to thin it down and just hit some of the snow to get it in there in those recesses. I I have noticed as I've been getting ready for this video that I can still see some mold lines, and you always want to try to knock those out. You can kind of see right here that awful looking mold line. It's going to drive me nuts, but I left it like right there. You can see right here. I just had a heck of a time trying to get those removed. So it is what it is. I just overly excited, I think, to just go ahead and jump into this model. So we're definitely gonna have to keep the mold lines under control in any future models. All right, let me go ahead and dry that off a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull that in here. All right, that's probably a pretty good base. Let's go ahead and let that sit, and we will let that dry. Perfect. So let's go ahead and rinse. We'll let that dry. It's a pretty solid start. All right. So there we go. You can kind of see just a really fast and dirty drop of some white to get this thing going. We'll pick out any of the hand grenades. We'll definitely do up the ornament nicely. Those wires, and we're going to work on the bomb and the branches and the snow. So should be able to get this base done pretty quick. It's just about letting it dry now, because if you try to run back through it and you drag your brush through almost dry paint, you're going to regret it. It's just going to tear into that surface, and it's going to look like trash. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and bring the chat back over. Here we go. We'll just kind of hang out, let it dry for a little bit. And if anybody pops in, we'll say hello. I am looking. I'm. Get tongue tied. I am looking at doing these live streams every Tuesday and Thursday. Just to try to keep myself on my painting hobby. I have a bad habit of doing a whole bunch and then it would kind of fall off, and then I'll come back and do a whole bunch. I've been into Warhammer for quite a while. Probably since I was 12, my uncle got me into it. Here is, I'm going to set this off to the side while we're waiting on that to dry. Here's one of the more recent models that I painted. I'm still working on some of the commandos. And you can see I only got the skin based on there. for the knob. I'm really looking forward to working on him. But I've been slowly building up skills from the very first commando. This is one of the more recent ones. I have this and I have the Breacha boy that I did recently. But they're all going on kind of a model board, like a plinth that I made. I 3D printed it. I'm still working on putting some. I got to do all their bases and everything, but I'm working on putting a lot of the texture down, a lot of the grass. I have other grass material you can kind of see with him, some of the bushes and different things. So I still have to build this up, and you can kind of see some of the 3D print lines in there. This should look really good once I get it done. It's gonna house all of my commandos that I use for kilting. Bring you back over. It's just about dry. Right. Doesn't look like we have any users in the chat yet, but whenever we do, welcome. We're just gonna kind of hang out. Let's go ahead and mix this up and get this going. Some of that Pilar Glacier. It's just gonna add a nice, very subtle blue into that snow, and it's just gonna give it, whenever you see shadow on snow, and it's just got that nice blue tint in the recesses. That's what I'm going for there. Let's see. Let's try to get some of this on the board on the wet palette. Just gonna come in nice and thin as it is because it is a contrast. A little bit more. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. And then I do want to just give it a small drop of water. That. Get it thinned up a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work out pretty nicely. See how thin that comes across? Whenever I go to just drop it on here, it should. And let's pick a kind of an inconspicuous spot. Just gonna tint that blue. See that? Nice tint in there. Roll through the whole thing. Give it this nice little tint. Oh, see right there? That's what I was talking about. That wasn't quite dry. And what did I do? Drug my brush right through it and ripped all that paint off. Ugh. Really need to invest in a blow dryer or something. So now we're going to have to pull back a little bit. Try to wait for all of that to get done. So we'll just hold off on his body. Hopefully that'll dry We can come back through, put some more white down, then we'll treat his body as a separate entity. But I like how that's already starting to kind of come together. Maybe can see, this is what happens when you just get too excited. Just gonna have to give it some time. I suppose in hindsight, it would have been better for me to just prime this whole thing in white and then pick out the black parts that I wanted to work on. That may have been the better option. We'll see. All right, we're gonna switch back around. Full painting window. Ah, see, I did the number one thing I was trying not to do. Hold it right off screen. See how easy that is? It's crazy, right? Let's get some more of this on the palette. Mix it in a little. I do want to cut it with just a drop of water. So I don't want it to be that intense. Perfect. All right. In here, we'll start laying down some more blue. Try our best not to grab any more white if we can help it. Hit the snowballs. See how well we can get the Yep, there's some white in there. Avoid those for now. See, it's a mess. I usually take a lot longer in between layers, but like I said, it's just 100% on me. I'm just overly excited about it. You don't want to just jump in and start. There we go. So now we're just gonna have to let it kind of hang out for a minute. And whatever we don't get done, I'm hoping to be, I'm hoping to keep this to about an hour, hour and a half of a live stream. So whatever we don't get done, it's okay. We'll just pick it up next time, and we'll just keep going. It's very holiday themed, and I absolutely love it. I'm so excited, but it is going to take us a solid minute to get these bases down. So I guess while we're waiting for that to dry or do something, you gotta go around and try to pick out some of these pools. While we're kind of wandering around, pulling some of the excess out. A little bit about me. I am a veteran of the United States military. I was in for 6 years, and I wanted to stay in for my full 20, but I ended up getting injured. So, you know, had to pivot. Certainly nothing wrong with pivoting, I guess. It's life. Oh, that's starting to kind of pull back a little bit. It didn't need to be so saturated. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's it's a little bit better. And that'll certainly dry a little bit faster. But kind of directly referencing the models that I was working on, or I showed you earlier, the commandos. These are actually my veteran themed. These are you can kind of see they're wearing the same kind of camo that I had in my uniform when I was in the military. Let's see if I can find a better one that's a little less dark. Okay, that one will probably be a good one to show you. So here you can kind of see the camo pattern on the BDU pants. I even had this kind of color shirt that I wore underneath my BDU shirt. Um, so yeah, they're complete veteran themed commandos. Um, suppose it'll be a little bit more lively once somebody rolls in. Let's see what we got. Yeah, still nobody. But that's all good. That is all good. We were just waiting on this to dry. We were literally watching paint dry. There you go. Let's watch paint dry together. I'd been painting for quite a while, and like off and on since I think I was 12. And one of the things that I had noticed when I got out of the military um, is painting miniatures, painting Warhammer, like getting into the hobby, like fully getting back into the hobby again. I'd been off and on for quite a while. I started playing second edition back in, I think, like the early 90s. So getting back into painting some of the newer models, getting into the book series, stuff like that, I found that to be wildly relaxing. Um, one of these days in the future, I am looking at taking my hand at a little bit of kit bashing. Um, I did pick up some Engines of Redemption, and I'm planning on taking these and making them into some Death Dreads. So I think that should be a lot of fun. Um, the huge orc uh, fan. So, so hopefully, if you're watching, you like orcs too, because I got a lot of them. Another one that I'm looking forward to painting is here's the 2023, I believe, model for the Red Gobbo for the Christmas. I still haven't painted him either, and I've been looking forward to it. My daughter actually had gotten me this model 1 year for Christmas, so I am like I was overly excited to put it together. So I put the whole thing together without realizing maybe a sub assembly would be easier, and this one's just going to be a all in one kind of challenge. So I did the same thing as I did on the other Gobbo model. I did a black primer, and you can kind of see better with the black in the mouth. Um, but I gave it kind of a nice, subtle, light zenithal highlight from the top. But that one's also on my list to try to get done. I'm super excited. I like the other the newest Gobbo one, the one with the Nutcracker kind of automaton robot thing. That one looks really cool too. Um, you'll have to let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Let me know what year's uh, Red Gobbo is your favorite. Um, maybe that was 2022's because I think 2023's had the chimney. But I love them. I love that Games Workshop does that every year, and I get excited to see what they're going to come out with and just kind of jump in. It's a blast. Okay, I think that's starting to dry pretty well. Let's go ahead and see if I can help it along. Yep, it's just about there. I can still see some spots that are a little wet, little tacky. You can kind of see it in the light. It's just a little shiny. Um, so one of the big pushes that I ended up getting to start a live stream um, is from my friend Sean and his wife, and I feel like I'd be remiss not to mention their Twitch channel if you are ever in the mood to watch. Um, I don't know how to pronounce the game, Phasmophobia or Fortnite. Basically, just like they have a whole lot of fun over there. So I mean, if you're ever in the mood to just kind of sit down, tune out, and watch um, some people joke around and play some games, go check out. I think it's Ghosts and Giggles and Ghosts, or something like that. Give me a second, and I will tell you. I swear, I think it's Ghosts and Giggles. Yep, it's Ghosts and Giggles. So if you're ever feeling like you're in the mood for that, I think if they get up to 100 subscribers on Twitch, they're gonna go on a real live ghost hunt. So I have no idea what that'll look like. Um, Good luck, guys. I can't wait to see. Uh, so we'll just kind of bide our time there. Um, right. I mean, that blue tint is looking really nice, and I like the little shadow that I managed to maintain right here. I am going to come over this and give it a nice dry brush. I'm hoping a lot of the stuff I did down below there. Let me go ahead and see if I can give this a nice tinted. See if we can fill that in. Try to pair some of that down below. But it is going to, it looks like it's going to take a dry brush pretty nicely. It's filling in all of the little areas. Okay. We can actually get the dry brush ready and see if we can get away with dry brushing some of that base. I am an impatient person. Yeah, I think we can get away with the dry brush. All right, so let's see here. What do we want to dry brush with? Dry brush with that, but that's gonna be rough on it. I don't like any of the other brushes I have for dry brushing, so you're it. And for dry brushing, I am going to give that just a little bit of moisture, just a little bit. And then I'm going to put down some fresh white. I don't want any of that diluted white. It's a nice little dot to work in there. So, if you notice, my little mat that I'm working on is actually a 60-cent unicorn with a rainbow mat. Because if you're not painting on a rainbow mat, what are you doing? Like, are you even painting? All right, that's probably good. Again, rocking that inconspicuous side. Just whack my knee. See? That looks. That looks a little too. There we go. just give it a little bit of a dry brush around to some of the areas there. Let's see. Try and pull the tint back up to white on top with a bluish core. All right. That part down here, that's the bane of my existence. It got broken up. It didn't dry. Everything pulled down there. So then whenever I ran a brush over it again, pulled it all off. So this damn snowman. Just getting a slightly thicker layer from down below. See if I can put a new coat on it without fighting too hard. And we can always come back over with that glaze. Tone it down again. Okay, so we fixed it down below. Now we just have to wait for it to dry. Everything else is kind of coming along. Maybe. How are we doing on time? All right. All right, let's take it back to the chat. We'll see if anybody's jumped in. Nobody's jumped in. Which is all good. So I think one of the things that I have the loudest chair in the world, I swear. One of the things I think I am looking forward to doing is eventually getting some of my other friends on, and maybe we can do like a painting challenge or something like that. Oh, so one of the things that I wanted to share that you might be in store for, I'm gonna set this off to the side, is I have a habit, like I have a 3D printer, right? And I like to mix absurd things. I did have a video on YouTube where I was putting this thing together, and I call it the Sheepator. It was a model I made for D&D, but it was with a Minecraft theme. Um, like a Minecraft themed enemy for D&D, and every time every time I see it, I laugh pretty hard. Um, so I put this together. Like I took two models. I found one really nice Minotaur model on one of the D&D sites, and I cut its head off. And then I found a Minecraft sheep, and I kind of tooled around and made it match up perfectly. So you get these weird, like the muscles bulging out, going up into this square head. And every time I think about, or every time I see this, all I can picture is it screaming like one of those screaming goats. Um, if you can imagine, your D&D parties in a dungeon and you just hear screaming and it's going. Um, that's uh, that's the kind of stuff eventually that I'd like to get back into doing is kind of fold some of the weird back into it. I do love painting Warhammer, but I really do like making some absurd things as well. So certainly, if you can think of anything absurd that you'd want to see, definitely let me know. I can see if I can, take two things and smash them together, or even try to make something completely different. Um, I like taking like a board game and then a movie and trying to tie them together. It's a lot of fun. So let's go and move this back. Looks like it's drying finally nicely. Could use a little bit more white on that underside. But it's got that blue tint that I was looking for, and it's got that packed down snow look. So it's not uniform, it's pretty modeled. I probably honestly could stand another white dry brush just to kind of run over it. But in the meantime, I am going to come back through and see if I can just give this underside just a, not even drag it, I'm just tapping the underside with some white just to help it retain some more of that vibrancy. And I will be hitting that underside with a little bit of that blue. Just a touch. Dot it around. That might be a little bit better. Kind of play with the snow a little bit. A little bit here and there. Some more texture, you know? Fill it out. Light, light stippling action here. Hopefully make it look just a little bit more like crunchy snow. I originally grew up in Pennsylvania, where we would get just an inordinate amount of snow every year. As much as I liked the snow, did not like having to deal with everything else. Like snow shoveling and getting stuck over and over and over, because that can kind of suck, especially when you're pressed for time and you need to get to school. That was rough. Anybody that doesn't work from home but still lives in areas where there's snow, you have my utmost respect, because I very healthy respect for that snow. Drive you nuts if you're not prepared. honestly, I think that that's a little bit better than probably be helpful if I moved it in a way that let you see what I was doing. Like the kind of pulling the snow up just a little bit, leaving the stomped down parts a little bit more blue and a little bit more impressed with some of that shadow. Flip this around. Let's get some more white. Yeah. It's gotta be perfect. Again, anybody that's grew up near snow knows that it's rarely perfect. Pretty uniform, but it's uniform in all the wrong ways. Yeah, see, there we go. There we go. Just kind of helping lift up some of the snow a little bit. Drift that down. Drift it down. There we go. Just like that. All right. See, now we've got a little bit more of that variation in that blue. Everything's kind of pulling together. Now, in order to paint, you don't really need any expensive stuff. I started off with super cheap synthetics and just kind of. In fact, the sable brushes that I have, I got off clearance on a website called Gamers Guild AZ. I I love them. I think that they're great for a lot of my products, a lot of my equipment and stuff that I use to paint. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead and check them out. You might be surprised on what you can find, especially in their clearance section. Like it's pretty nice. Yeah, I do have to spend over $100, but they're not. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm just a big fan. All right. So this looks like it is coming near the end. So what we can do now? How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Thinking, picking out branches of brown, and then picking out all of the black elements. That might be a good way to go. Do have one other surprise, and it's when I go to paint this little Christmas ornament, I'm actually just going to give it some, there we go, some color shift. Just to try to make it stark a little bit, I'm gonna just use my brush. I've used it before to great success for small details that really pop. Here is the like missile commando, and if you see the eye lens actually has a color shift to it. I put a base of blue down underneath it, and it really catches the light really well. It shifts from violet to blue, It's the same one that I used on this. So I mean, I think it worked out fantastic, and I'm gonna do the same thing for that ornament, so that way it really pops. It stands out. So let's go ahead and set that off to the side too. You know, I don't think I need any more of the blue. We can put that back. This pie, the pyral whatever glacier. And with that, we should probably go ahead and start getting ready to see about picking out some stuff out of black. Again, gotta make sure you wipe the end off, or else you'll end up that stuff everywhere. Yeah, just a drop because I don't like it super thick. Now I'll mix that in, so that way it doesn't pull up and make those stiff peaks with the paint. You want a nice wet paint. It can have as much opacity as you want it to have. That's not a problem. No, you really can't see that. But see that? Like, you can get a nice controlled dark, but it's not so dark that it's gonna just wash everything out. So with that, we're gonna start on the balm itself because I do want to tone it down so we can do a little bit of metallic paint on it. It is important to breathe. When I'm painting, I'm usually focusing a lot of my breath. Trying to like stabilize the best I can. A little bit of the white sticking up is not bad. Much of the black sticking down. That's the problem. Okay. Pushing that color in. Just like that. All right. Every once in a while, like I end up getting hair or fuzzy or something. Like, can't help it. Sometimes fuzz just happens. You gotta wait for it to dry and just get it out of there. Hope it doesn't mess with your paint. Now look, my paintbrush split. Best thing you can do, give it a good rinse, back it off, dip a little bit of water in there. I like to just drag it and twist it out on my wet palette and just get a little bit more loaded in the chamber. And then look at that. You are back. Come on now. There it is. And you are back. Well, on the plus side, if you are watching on YouTube and you were looking for a reason to go to sleep, like a sleep aid, got you, fam. You don't even have to watch me paint. You could just listen to me droning. Just like that. We're out. So there we go. We've got the bomb painted all on black. Let's go ahead and see if we can pick out some more of these other details. I think we're going to leave the branches. A little bit more water. A bit more black. We are going to let's see if we can get this guy. Now I do have the magnifying glass or thing that looks reasonably like one that I can use. It's actually a set of glasses. But sometimes I just like to try to pick the detail out. With my eyes. I think it's just so I can remind myself that I'm not as blind as I think I am. Does anybody else do that? Kind of do a self imposed challenge. Like, oh, I'll do this, but or I can use this tool, but I want to make sure that I'm not blind. See, that looks good. There we go. I got it. So that way the little tiny hole can be, you can see the snow through it. Let's get the next one. Like I said, the hand grenades are going to be all done in a camo green. See, sometimes I forget to breathe. But I'm going to do them in a camo green because that's kind of green that, well, honestly, that's the closest thing to like olive drab green I think I have. And I am all about trying to find ways to either mix paints or paint on a budget. I'm not an advocate for thinking you have to go out and spend all of this money on all of the equipment and all of these different things if you don't have to, you know? Like yes, a nice fancy water cup is great, but I honestly just use an old like gosh, what is this? I think this is a mustard jar, honestly. Like the Dijon mustard jars. So I'm not a wildly big advocate for going out and spending all of the money on everything you think you need to get started when all you need just a paintbrush and some of the most basic colors that you can mix. Just lean into it. See if you like it. If you like the hobby, then that's fantastic. Go out and expand some of your colors. Add to it, but definitely like try your best at seeing if you even like the hobby before you go and drop all of the money on the expensive brushes and stuff like that. Because you can go out and spend all this money and then find out, well, I don't like it. But if you do like it, then it's worth the investment. Who knows? Nobody is. Has anybody showed up to listen to me droning on? No, doesn't look like it. Let's go back to painting. That way we just get a full screen. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it near the end here. All right, so we've got 3 hand grenades. We've got that. The hand grenade is hidden in that snow. I think all we have left is to try to get these cables. But I am on the fence about trying to make any kind of modification to them because I bet they'd look really nice bright. I think those are bullet casings, honestly. Or are those are Christmas lights. Guys, what the hell? Those are Christmas lights. I didn't realize they were there. Shoot. All right. Well, that's going to call for fun things. Let's see what we got. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Let's go ahead and get some red down. We don't need a ton. And we literally just need like the smallest drop. That is. There we go. Smallest drop of water. A little bit of red. Mix it in really good. And yeah, see that's what I'm looking for. I do want to get some of that excess off of my brush. Pull some in. And let's do some honestly, that's too much water. Sorry about that. Doing the thing again. Pulling it really far up. Honestly, for something like this cable, what we can do, what we're probably going to do, just fill the whole thing in. And we're going to come back through and give it just the smallest amount. See, look at that. Look at how vibrant that is. We're going to tone that down with like almost a black wash. And we're going to make our own once that's dry. I'm going to come back for some Cantor Blue. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. This time we're just gonna take a little bit and mix it in there. That should be good. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's see how that does. Honestly, I don't hate it. Don't hate it. Ooh. That was almost a foolish end. I almost crossed my wires. Y'all see that? That would have been stupid. Alright, so there's our red and our blue. Now we've got some Christmas stuff coming from it. So how should we handle that? Trying to think. Maybe we coat those. Dark. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's grab another one. Just a little bit more. Come on. You'll see what I'm going to do with these guys. All right. Oh man, this I think the snow threw me off pretty hard. I might be coming back on Thursday to finish this. So definitely want to make sure all of that dries before we sorry, I got distracted. So, it looks like I got my first comment, guys. You want to see it? Hey, look at that. I can get cheap viewers on Streamboo. I have to remove the space from Streamboo. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I appreciate the offer though. I really do. You didn't even stick around. So, thank you for Streamboo for let's come back to our model. All right. let's see, what time is it? What do we got? So we got a few more minutes. I would like to at least drop some black down to block out the coal. And then I think from there we're probably gonna look at buttoning it up for the evening, and then I will continue this on Thursday whenever we come back. I do want to start by I do want to say thank you for anybody that comes through like YouTube. Um, Definitely again go and check out Ghosts and Giggles on Twitch. I don't know exactly when they stream. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know they do it in the evenings. But definitely go and check their stuff out. I think that they're pretty funny. You might enjoy them too. That is, if you're interested in Fortnite and Phasmophobia and some all around. Oh, I do believe they're on YouTube as well. So you can go check out their stuff there, see what's up, and then kind of go from there. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Now, see, I like that. I like how that coal looks. That's pretty decent. If you get a good base, a lot of stuff looks pretty nice. Just gotta ease on into it. We'll probably give it another coat because you always wanna lean in and go. A couple of thin coats are definitely better than one thick globbed coat. Anybody that paints miniatures would definitely tell you that. All right. Well, I mean, we didn't get any of the colors down that I was hoping to get down tonight, but a lot of it was just waiting for the base to dry. So, what you gonna do? Um, yeah. So what we're gonna do whenever we come back, we're gonna take care of some lights. Be about adding just a little bit more. I see a spot that I missed. On the edge. But yeah, we'll definitely add some more color. You know what? There is one more thing I want to do before we go. I want to try to give, since we have this black on the wet palette already, let's go ahead and we're going to make our own wash. So we're going to basically just drag a decent amount through here, and we're going to see that that's good, but I want it thinner. So I'm going to do one more drop of water. And I know y'all can't see what I'm doing. Let me pull this down. So I want to take a little bit more of this and come in here. And now that is the consistency. If I can see through the black and it just pulls up in certain areas, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Down just a little bit. But that's one of the things I think I enjoy the most about this hobby is that you can kind of figure out all these little tips and tricks and come in and make something that would really just surprise you. Just gonna go through this cabling, put just a hint, just a little bit of shadowing in there. Just an idea of shadow. Suck up any excess there. It's a little bit of this darker one. Push shadowing. It'll give it really, really nice kind of pop on the snow. There we go. That's it. And I always like to come back through, dry off that brush, and come in, pull it back a little bit. That is my alarm telling me that I should stop. Because if I don't put an alarm on, we will be here all night finishing this up. So there we go. We've got everything blocked out. We've got everything ready for color. Let's get to it next time. Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I can be found on Blue Sky, seagullfactory.bluesky.social. I can be found on YouTube or on Twitch. I'm going to be doing this 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll run live Twitch streams. I forgot what it was called for a second there. But I'll do live Twitch streams Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And I don't know, maybe I'll see you out there. You have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for watching.